This is Dirty Harry, my 1984 Dodge Diplomat with a 5.9 Magnum and 727 trans on 3 Performance GT45 Turbo. It has been waiting for a new torque converter, and I'm going to start that today. So I just got home from a northern Michigan vacation where it was 65, 70 degrees, back to Ohio where it's 90 degrees. So it's later at night. I'm going to start doing some underhood stuff before I get the car up in the air. And when I say up in the air, I mean on jack stands. So I'm going to pull the new crank sensor that I had for an OBD2 swap out so I don't bash it up. It's no longer needed with the Holley system. So I'm going to start pulling that out and maybe some upper bell housing bolts, stuff I can get to here easier. Crank sensor is out. You can see a bell housing bolt towards the top and then one just to the, to the bottom of that hole in the 727 trans that I cut out a long time ago. Now there is a tab for the dipstick tube that is not behind this bolt. It's kind of bent up, doesn't fit right. The only reason I can get away with that is because this is an older 66 and older transmission that has been converted to a newer 67 up input shaft. So it's got a small bolt that holds the dipstick tube in down by the pan, so I can get away with not running that. Otherwise it would blow right out. Although I have broken these bolts loose and actually started to walk them out, I realize or remember now that it's easier to droop the transmission after unhooking the rear mount and get my long extensions out. So I'm not going to waste a bunch of time here. Although they're broken loose, we're good to go. It's probably been at least a month since I've gotten a torque converter for this car. And for those of you who don't know me personally, I've had some issues with transmissions in this car. And they're mostly my fault, but not all my fault. And I've had this transmission in and out a lot. Mostly when I was trying to run a 904 in this car. So I've kind of got PTSD from taking the transmission in and out of this car. It's all flooding back to me right now. And so I'll get this thing done, no worries. So it's about midnight and I've got pretty much everything up top unhooked. So not much up here. The problem is my shop is a little bit too small for all the idiotic projects that I do. So I don't really want to put a jack handle into the quarter panel of the GTX, so I'm going to wait until morning and I can pull this thing out and then get this thing up on jack stands and actually start pulling the transmission. Time to jack this thing up. It'd be a whole lot cooler if I had a lift, but I do not. Before I pop the drive shaft out, I'm going to go ahead and just mark the cap here and mark the yoke. So that way I know which way this thing goes back on. Should, in theory, help with vibrations or lack thereof. This car's got a driveline vibration anyway, so I'm not super worried about it, but just for good measure, I don't want it to get worse. Time to start work from underneath. The battery is unhooked, so I'm just going to loosen the starter, set it up in the steering linkage here for safekeeping. I'm going to probably unhook the transmission lines about last, so that way I have the least amount of transmission fluid leaking on my arms as I'm working. Got to pull the rear cross member and speedometer cable off of it. And then I can droop the transmission down a little bit and get to those upper bell housing bolts. I got them all broken loose, but it's way easier just to take a long extension and get those loose. It's almost time to get automatic transmission fluid down in my armpit and into my hair. Got my homemade transmission adapter plate for my floor jack. Pretty much got all the bolts out that I can see except for this last bell housing bolt. Transmission is draining a little bit. I might let it sit here for a second so I have maybe a little bit less of a mess. It's probably too late, but time to drop this thing out, I think.
Those are the trans cooler lines.
Yeah, these are the trans cooler lines. That's the linkage. This is the kickdown cable. Stay up. Just turn it down. I won't hurt anything. All right, you ready? All right, trans is out. Transmission is out of Dirty Harry. So now all I have to do is take that torque converter, install it in the trans, and put it all back together. But it is very hot here in Ohio. It's actually 9:25. We lost power here the other day, and I didn't set the clock, and it's still 90 degrees in the shop. So I've had enough. When I look at these two converters, the one I just pulled out on the left and the one that's going in on the right. So these are actually rated at the same 2800 to 3200 stall speed, but the actual body of the converter is way bigger on the old one versus the new one. This was a cheap one from, I don't know, Summit or something like that when I threw the car together. This one is the new Hayes Twister, and I expect this one to actually stall way closer to what the rating is on it. So before I put the new one in, I'm going to put about a quart of fluid in the converter, like the instructions say, and coat the snout and the bushing with a little bit of light grease. While I've got the new converter out, if you look down straight down the snout of this thing, there's a set of splines all the way at the bottom, a set of splines up, and then these two notches that run the pump. So when we put this thing in, we might see the 3 clicks or 3 drops where it goes into place. That was it. All right, converter's in. Time to begin the fight that is installing the trans again. If I can not pinch my wideband, that'll be good. Dipstick tube has to go in between the block and the exhaust there. My weld wasn't so crappy on my exhaust, it would pop by there easier. Get this bolt a couple more threads in, then I need to take the tail housing and lift it up a little bit. I put another jack in there on the back of the tail housing so I could adjust this thing, because my floor jack with the adapter that I made is not the best and doesn't give me a whole lot of control, but I think we're pretty much started on there. I just need to go up just a fuzz on the back. There we go, just kind of fell in place. Never want to use the bell housing bolts to draw it up to the block. If it's not seated correctly, it'll crack the bell housing or possibly break an ear off the casting of the block. Need to go over to the other side and just double check that everything is good over there. I previously started the lower long bell housing bolt kind of as a guide, and then I was able to pivot that thing around the bell housing, but it looks like it's pretty much there. 2 bell housing bolts are holding the trans onto the back of the engine, and I've got my floor jack on the tail shaft. Now I just gotta let that droop down so I can fish the upper bell housing bolts up in there and then start just reassembling everything. I think we're pretty much buttoned up under here except for the drive shaft. Go back up top, fill it with fluid, and maybe get a test in on it. All I had to do was even mention the possibility of a test drive today, and guess what happens? The Ohio rains are back. Perfect. We are all back together. Trans is back in, new converters in, installed. Fluid is topped off in neutral. Car is up to temperature. I'm not really able to do a good stall test where it is sitting. It is now raining again in Ohio, so that is awesome. It's also cooled down a little bit, about 102 in the shop earlier, so I guess I'll take the rain if it cools us down a little bit. Not as hot as yesterday, still hot. Just when you think I couldn't make a bigger mess, I drive right over my drain pan. Good job. Alright, so I'm going to do a stall speed test with this thing, and what I've been finding out with this car before is the rear brakes might not be working well enough or not be strong enough to hold as well as I need it to. So what I'm going to do is just put it in drive, hold my foot on the brake, and then add power to it and see where the stall speed wants to be. So what's happening is around 2,500 RPM, it wants to break free. Let's try it with my two-step. You can hear the turbo spooling up. I wasn't watching the boost gauge. I think it comes up to about 0.
Feels way harder though.
Does it?
Yeah.
I haven't driven this car in a while. Why didn't I log that? Torque converter is officially in, and it definitely works. One of the problems I'm having, you've probably seen in the videos, is I'm still pushing through the back brakes with this thing before it's actually stalling. So I need to go through and look at what I got going on there. I can't remember what I used for brakes. This is a B-body 8 3/4 in the back, and I think I probably just used whatever brakes were on the back of that thing instead of the matched ones that were off of the 7 1/4 axle that I pulled out. So I might have a wheel cylinder sizing issue or something like that that's causing the issue. Once I get this thing to the track, I think it's gonna make a huge difference though. I can feel that it's a totally different animal. As soon as you get into the throttle, it just wants to take off, so it's pretty sweet. I think I'm also gonna find that I'm gonna be shifting this car manually now. All this time, I have been just putting it in drive and stabbing the pedal, and it worked because I had it adjusted properly. But the way this thing feels, it feels like it shifts a lot better, and I feel a lot more in control of it when I'm doing manual shifting today. I'm gonna call it for the day because it's 90 degrees out and will be probably for the rest of the weekend. So I'm not gonna just go out and beat on this car just to get it hot and detonate and break something. So I'm gonna wait until I take it to the track, see if I can get some street miles in it and some testing on it. But other than that, I'm gonna call that done and a victory. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with updates on Dirty Harry.